In July of 2017, I decided that I want to break into the investment banking industry. And in a span of 3 months, I actually ended up breaking in. But later on, I realized this probably was one of the worst things that happened to me, especially in my entrepreneurship journey. In this video, I want to talk about why that is so. If you guys don't know me, my name is Andrew. In 2021, I left my investment banking job to become a full-time entrepreneur and content creator. And today I have over 500,000 followers on TikTok and currently run a social media agency. All right, number one, breaking into banking in 3 months made me believe that I was special and I was able to do amazing things in a very short amount of time. So if you guys aren't aware, just a quick background about investment banking. It's a very competitive industry to get into that many college students, start prepping for since they're like freshmen in college. And a lot of times these investment banks recruit from also very targeted schools like these Ivy Leagues or these top state schools that unless you go to one of these like prestigious schools, your chances of getting into an investment bank is also much lower. So when I decided to pursue investment banking, I was a incoming junior in college. I was studying an engineering major. I had no relevant financial experiences on my resume. I did a high GPA though, I will give myself that. But on top of that, I was also very late to recruitment cycle. By the time I decided that I wanted to pursue investment banking, most investment banks were already halfway through or midway through doing interviews of college students when I was still there trying to learn how to network and learn all the financial technicals because I have never taken a finance or accounting class in college up to that point, being an engineering major. But it ended up working out for me, and I started recruiting for investment banking in July of 2017 and was able to get an offer by the time September came around. So pretty much in a span of like 3 months, I went from not knowing anything about investment banking or finance to landing an offer in the investment banking industry. And don't get me wrong, like I did work really, really hard to break into investment banking. I remember staying up to like 2 a.m. every single night, just like studying technicals, sending out networking emails, and learning as much as I can about the finance industry. But so did everyone else. I wasn't the only student doing that. There was a bunch of other students who were already pursuing this career path, if not months, years ahead of me that were already prepping for this. And here I came along literally, stumbling into my way of like learning investment banking and be like, great, this is something I want to pursue. Let me go for it. So looking back, I only did 3 first round interviews and I did 1 super day. Super day is like the final round of investment banking. It's like a 3 to 4 hour long interview, but I was able to do 1 super day and I landed that offer on that 1 super day. So looking back, it was something that I definitely got very, very lucky with. But at that point, I didn't view it as luck. I viewed it as like I was special. I had this Midas touch that anything I did, it will be successful in a very, very short amount of time. Which really hurt me when I ended up pursuing entrepreneurship, because when that success didn't come fast to me in entrepreneurship, I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I wasn't skilled enough. I thought like, I wasn't good at what I was doing. And it really took a shot at my confidence because getting into investment banking so quickly, this highly competitive, highly prestigious job that so many people want to get into, that I was just able to like break into such short time. I was like, why is the same thing not happening to me when I'm doing like entrepreneurship? And that's when I kind of realized that over the years, over just the past years of doing this, that you shouldn't expect things to happen fast, especially the big goals or the big things that I want to accomplish. Because a lot of times those things take years, if not decades to accomplish. And in order for them to happen fast, you probably need to get very, very lucky. And that's something that you shouldn't be betting on to get lucky with. The second thing I want to talk about is working in investment banking made me very, very cocky, like very, very cocky. And because I thought I worked in investment banking, again, you're working in this industry, very competitive to get into, very prestigious. You're surrounded by a bunch of other students from top schools, top of the class. And you're talking about these like billion-dollar transactions you're working on, these complex IPOs and M&A transactions, these financial analyses, which, I mean, to be honest, it's not too complicated, okay? You're just plugging numbers left and right. But being said, it really inflated my ego that I was working investment banking. And not just that, I was like, I had 3.7 GPA as an engineering major. I went to competitive engineering school and now I work in investment banking. Wow, I must be able to do everything in life. Like things come easy to me because I'm just that good at everything I did. And this was something that really like slapped me in the face when I started to do drop shipping, which I'm going to dive into like much deeper in future videos, that entire journey. But it ended up not working for me. I did drop shipping for pretty much the past 2 years, and I was never able to find very big material success with it. You know, I did make $200,000 in revenue, but overall, it's just something that showed me that just because I did investment banking doesn't mean that like everything else will come easy for me, right? Because everything can be a new skill that I have to learn, right? Especially in dropshipping, you learn about marketing, you're learning about running ads, you're learning about like product. So, and these are things that like, yeah, maybe I was a good banker, maybe being a banker, maybe very good at finance and these things, but this is a complete new field that I know nothing about. So who am I to come in here and just be like, this is all easy, I can do any of this? And I think another thing is just that like, you know, working investment banking, you make a very good salary, right? So I made $140,000 in my first year investment banking. And if I had stayed to the end of my second year, I would have made over $200,000 in my second year. And this kind of screwed me over, especially when I was doing entrepreneurship, just because like that became my new floor, you know? And I think especially in the entrepreneurship community, there's this whole idea of like making 10K a month, right? Make 10K a month doing this business, make 10K a month doing affiliate marketing, make 10K a month with content. And I remember for the longest time, I was always like, why is everyone so obsessed with making 10K a month? If I just want to make 10K a month, I would have just stayed in investment banking. You know, I would have been making like 20, 30K a month, but like a couple of years into it, easily be making that amount of money. But I say this screwed me over because that became my new floor, and anything below that, I had a hard time getting myself to like start over again and like build upon the small wins, right? You know, being an entrepreneur a lot of times, you kind of have to start low and stack your small wins to get to the bigger wins, right? But I was able to like really start from that level because everything I did had to already hit that 10K a month mark, or else, you know, I didn't think it'll be worth my time, or I think like I was better than that, right? So I didn't want to do opportunities that only pay me like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. And I remember there was even at this point where a brand wanted to pay me like $1,000 for like a sponsored TikTok. It was like $1,500. And I said no. I said no because I was like, oh, I'm worth so much more than that. Like, oh, come on, 1,500, what's that, right? Like I made that in like a week in investment banking. But now looking back, I probably should have taken that deal and built upon it, right? Maybe I'm worth more than that, right? But I can charge $1,500 first time. If it does well, second time comes around, I can charge $2,000, $3,000. And eventually, you know, as I grow my audience and my brand as well, I can start charging more as well. But I didn't have that mindset. I had that mindset of like, anything below this number is below me, and I refuse to do it, which is a very hurtful mindset to have, especially when you're pursuing entrepreneurship. So I think the lesson that I learned here was I shouldn't think that I'm above everyone else, right? Like I'm not better than anyone. I'm not smarter than anyone. I may be more knowledgeable in a field, for example, in engineering or finance/investment banking, which is why like, you know, a lot of people working in banking, your pay is justified because you're more knowledgeable, but that doesn't mean you're smarter fundamentally or you're better than anyone. So yeah, I guess the overall lessons that I have learned that I want to dispel in this video is, number one, you aren't smarter or better than anyone just because you work a bougie job. Entrepreneurship is truly a great equalizer. And that's where it really shows and tests like your grit and talents. And number two, I think it's a cliche saying, but I actually think it's really true. Fast success builds ego, but slow success builds character. And I think a lot of times we wish for fast success, but sometimes fast success shouldn't be something we're wishing for because it can end up hurting us in the long run. Overall, on this account, I talk about my journey from quitting investment banking to building business and being an entrepreneur/content creator, and the lessons and learnings that I developed along the ways. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to follow along because I'll be making a lot more videos like these this year. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye.